In today's video, I am going to review you guys' airports once again. In this extra long episode, I am going to review 16 of your airports, where we will finish all the registrations for the first season of airport reviews. This means that registrations for the second season of Model Airport Reviews are now opened, and you can register your airport in the link below in the description. Let's go to the first airport. This is Sta City International Airport, located in the fictional city. It is completely made out of homemade materials. I like how you have created a terminal for KLM aircraft using this blue box and some LED lights, and you nicely labeled the terminal. All the markings are created using tape. He also created some scenery with a tree made out of paper and some grass here. This is a really basic model airport created out of materials that he had at home. And he has come a long way with those materials. So for anyone on a very low budget using only stuff from home, be sure to gain some inspiration out of this airport. Welcome to YBH International Airport, a fictional airport without a location. In the middle of the airport there is a huge terminal with a lot of gates, and on both sides there are taxiways and runways. And here he has even got water and a beach. You really have a great collection of model aircraft, both narrow body and wide body aircraft. As you have already purchased the airport mat, I can't really say much about the ground markings. But judging from this picture, you only really have the jet bridges on every aircraft and some ground service equipment driving around, like this catering truck. But you could consider adding much more ground service equipment, like for example pushback trucks, baggage carts, and fuel trucks. I think these are 3 Gemini Jets terminals combined, which of course have this nice lighting at night. Also, what you could consider doing is adding modeling grass to these green areas which represent the grass now. But overall, you have a lovely collection, and with some ground service equipment, I am sure your airport is going to look very good. Up next we have a recreation of Auckland Airport in New Zealand. Completely self-built. Even though the terminal isn't really done yet, I would like to include this airport because I really like all of the ground markings on your airport. I love both the asphalt and the concrete, including all of the concrete tiles, plus the detail in all the taxiway lines, which have this oval shape. These remote stands with the parking for the ground service equipment also look lovely, and there is quite some ground service equipment on your airport. You already have plans for expansion, like building a runway, and you have some really lovely images that you included during the golden hour, where your airport really comes to life and looks so realistic. I'm very curious to see how this airport is going to look like after the terminal has been finished, because for now it already looks amazing. The only tip that I can think of is maybe some separation for the aircraft gates. You've got these red lines over here on the remote stands, which you could consider adding to the terminal as well. But for the rest, I am really impressed by your airport. Thanks for sending it in. The next airport is Shanfield Air Base, located in Shanfield, Germany, which is completely made out of Legos. It is based on a German airfield used in World War II, and it's got so much detail. Here in the hangar we have a BF-109 aircraft for maintenance, and it's got so much detail around it, like all the toolboxes that the mechanics use. On the runway there is a huge aircraft. This is a HA-111 or 111. This thing looks absolutely enormous from the picture, and it's even got this gun on top. Next to the airfield he has got a train shed to get shipments in, and he plans to add a control tower in the future, but he doesn't know where to place it. So my suggestion would be maybe here on the far end, or here in between the train and all of the trees. I think for anyone enjoying Legos and aviation, take a good look at this airfield, because there is so much detail to find here and so much inspiration together. Shanfield Air Base, thank you for sending your airport in. Next up we have a recreation of Don Mueang International Airport in Bangkok, Thailand. The first thing that stands out to me are all the ground markings, because there is so much detail. Here we have runway ahead in the red signage, here no entry. All the gates have been nicely numbered, and just overall all the ground markings are very complete. The terminal looks neat as well, with a couple of jet bridges connecting to the aircraft. Though also for you, you could consider adding some ground service equipment. It will definitely bring your airport more to life. A control tower on top of the terminal. In your case, maybe the actual control tower of Wang International Airport would be a great addition as well. But overall speaking, I love all the ground markings, and with a control tower and some ground service equipment, your airport is going to look wonderful. Next up on the list is Koningshaven Airport, located in the Netherlands, which is based on Schiphol but with its own twist. And there is so much detail on this airport once again. Also because it's 1 to 200 scale, so the aircraft are much bigger. The terminal is based on the Terminal Hotel at Schiphol Airport, which holds budget airlines, and the taxiway here can hold anything up to a 747. They don't come across often, the 1 to 200 scale airports, but each and every time I am very impressed by all the detail, and the models also look absolutely stunning in that scale. All the ground service equipment also has so much more detail, which almost makes me consider building my own 1 to 200 scale airport, but that's a whole other story. The airport was also for sale on the Aviation fair at Schiphol this February, so maybe some of you who visited the fair recognize it. Either way, thank you for sending your airport in, it looks amazing. The next airport is Colonial International Airport, located near the Atlantic. The base is made out of paper, and he used markers to create all of the taxiway lines, ground markings, and also for the grass. For ground service equipment, he used some Legos, which we've already seen earlier and is a really easy way to create a catering truck or some air stairs. What you could consider doing to create more realism on your airport is making the ground a dark gray color like asphalt or concrete. And instead of the grass that you have here now, and I know I've already advised it dozens of times, but consider buying modeling grass. It's not that expensive and you can get a lot of different colors on Amazon. The next airport is Vestersund Airport in the north of Sweden. It is 1 to 200 scale, and the owner supplied pictures of the building process of the airport. He's used asphalt paint for the base layer, where he then painted yellow taxiway lines and other ground markings. I love how the edges look really rough with the dirt, the grass. And there is a long story behind Vestersund Airport, but it's mainly operated by airlines such as SAS Scandinavian and Widerøe Airlines, and Widerøe, as it is a very regional airport. It's also got this lovely AN2 aircraft which operates sightseeing flights, and very rarely a bigger aircraft visits the airport, such as this Iceland Air 757 in the beautiful Northern Lights livery. At night the airport is lit up by these light balls, which give off a really nice and realistic effect, as they shine really bright. I think this airport looks absolutely lovely, and there isn't much to add, though you could consider adding some white lines that indicate the road for the ground service equipment and some parking spots for the ground service equipment. But for the rest, I think your airport looks very realistic and very, very lovely. The next airport is Belfast City Airport. And even though it lacks the artificial grass and a terminal which will be added, I think the airport already looks very nice thanks to all the ground service equipment. For example, this air stair has actual people boarding the EasyJet aircraft, and it has got this Swissport logo on it. This airport just shows how, with a lot of ground service equipment, your airport already looks amazing, even though it still lacks a terminal and modeling grass. I am sure when everything is added, this airport will look incredible. Next up, we have got Solo International Airport, an airport fully made out of paper, including all the aircraft. And I think they look absolutely incredible. There is a great variety of aircraft, including a 747 from Atlas Air, several narrow-body and wide-body aircraft, and of course this Beluga Airbus. Something that I haven't seen before, but this airport has, is this windsock, which indicates how fast and where the wind is coming from. This is something which I don't even have on my own airport, and I am definitely going to add. Furthermore, he has got a lot of ground markings and even taxiway signs which indicate what taxiway you're on. I really love the huge amount of detail on this airport. Also for you, instead of the green paint, add some modeling grass, you're not gonna regret it. This is an unnamed airport and it is mostly made out of paper as well, and the ground markings have partially been printed on a paper, which makes it there is really a lot of detail in the ground markings. The rest of the airport is DIY made, and what you could consider adding is ground service equipment, as you have none driving around now, and you could try to make the transition between the printed paper and the rest of the airport smoother by, for example, continuing the concrete lines, removing this small white edge, and trying to make the colors of the printed paper and the rest of your airport the same. Up next we have Winterton International Airport, located in the east of England. He has combined two Gemini Jets terminals together, and he built an airport around it himself. I love the Gemini Jets terminals for the fact that they give such a nice effect in the dark with their LED lights. What you could consider adding to your airport are taxiway outlines. You can make them with a black fine liner, but for the rest this airport looks amazing, and he's even got plans to expand it, so I'm really curious to see how it's going to look like when it's even big. This is Gadora Airport, which, judging from the Qantas aircraft, is located in Australia. I love how the top of the air traffic control tower is a match, and I am not too sure what material the grass is made from, but this is also a great alternative to the standard Amazon modeling grass. You could consider continuing the taxiway lines because here they stop as soon as they get off the runway, so try to add them to the rest of the apron as well. Here we have Adelaide Airport, located in Australia, which stood out to me because of the blue taxiway lines. He's created a terminal using old Lego boxes, and there is a really broad variety of aircraft on the airport, both military on the corner, cargo, and a lot of narrow body and wide body passenger aircraft. I am sure your airport is going to look better when you have added more markings to the runway, and also the rest of the apron could have more neat and detailed markings. The second to last airport is KLS Airport, a fictional airport that he built himself. There seem to be lights on the side of the runway, but there isn't a picture of those on, so I'm not sure. I like the AstroTurf modeling grass, and what you could consider adding is a bit more color. Everything is quite grey now, including the terminals, so consider adding yellow taxiway lines, red markings on the aircraft apron, and getting some texture to the terminal. Also some ground service equipment really adds some sense of realism. And the final airport on the list is Isle of Man Airport. Something went wrong with the pictures, but I know you from Instagram, and I didn't want to leave this airport out because it's incredibly detailed. For example, the air traffic control tower with all the vehicles surrounding it, the trees, the modeling grass, the fence. There is so much detail to this airport. There is lots of ground service equipment driving around the airport. There are so many buildings on the side, like a hangar in the back, and here seems to be some fuel facilities. He has also got a GPU or ground power unit connected to the airplane to supply electricity. And overall, I am just really impressed by this wonderful looking airport of Isle of Man. So much detail and so much inspiration there is to gain from this airport. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. I have now reviewed all the registered airports for the first season, which means you can register your airport now for the second season through the link in the description. I am looking forward to reviewing all of your airports. Please consider to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.